If you're looking for ways to uplevel your health and performance, maybe ditch some of the stress, anger, anxiety, and overwhelm that's keeping you from stepping into your full potential, then you're in the right place. I'm Elle Ingalls, creator of the Pressure-Free Method, the on-the-go stress management method. And I have a training here for you that's going to share the method and give you some real tips and tools that you can use right away. Plus, I'm going to share with you my group program, which might be a perfect fit for you to step into so that you can really dive in and learn this method, master it, and begin to expand it into your life. So I'm going to start my share here and pop up some slides for you tonight. And hit play here. So tonight's workshop is about how to feel more valued, have more patience, and experience more time and energy in your life. I want you to remember me. So if you're not familiar with me, it's just one syllable, L. It's like the French pronoun for she. And if you just think of Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, I'm the illegally blonde, actually white-haired Elle, and I'm quite a bit older than this person in this picture. Ingalls. Yes, my husband is related to Laura Ingalls Wilder, Little House in the Big Woods or Little House on the Prairie. So that's how you can always remember how to spell my last name. And the reason I'm doing this for you is you might come on this training and then 6 months from now, you might be like, what was that training I was on? Who is that person? So if we're not friends yet, this is one way that I can make sure that you know my name and can find me later. So tonight you'll discover simple steps to feel more valued at work, how to quickly turn your impatience to patience, tools to improve your relationship with time, and how to go from an energy and emotional roller coaster to empowered, sustainable energy. This is a picture of me in 1999 with our two older sons. I had just learned that I was pregnant with number 3. And I love this picture, but when I look closely at this picture, I can see my little son, Ned, who's next to me, wringing his hands. He does not want to go into that school. And my older son, Hugh, that's not a real smile on him. It's definitely kind of a forced smile for the camera. But usually Hugh is this incredibly exuberant boy and now young man. However, he had to start going to a new school because 2 schools merged. At his old school, it was K through 12, and he absolutely loved it. When he was in kindergarten and 1st grade, all the older kids in the school would slap him 5 in the hallway and come into their class and read to them. And he just had all these friends who were like in 11th and 12th grade. And he thought it was amazing. And then they merged the elementaries and we had to go across town. So this is the first day of school across town. And I can just see how neither one of these boys want to go into school. And I can see on my face, I don't want to leave them. Like, I love summer. I love being with our children. And I've got to go to work. I was running a symphony back then. You see me with my pearls on. What you don't see in this picture, because it's kind of, you can see I'm in a suit. But at that point, I had actually lost about 30 pounds. I was highly underweight. I weighed what I weighed in 7th grade because I'd really been going through a crisis. And then learning that I was pregnant was kind of this new beginning for me. But how I wish I could go back and wave my magic wand and have these people and my husband who took this picture learn the pressure-free method so that I probably wouldn't have gone, hurry up, we're going to be late, every single morning when they were getting ready for school. And I wasn't in a panic to get everybody there on time and me to work on time. I so wish I could go back in time, but I can't. This is our family today, or let's see, 2021 is when this photo was taken. And weddings can be really stressful. We had a pressure-free wedding for our middle son, Ned, and his beautiful wife, Jacqueline. So this is that day, and I think you can really see that the smiles are genuine. Our family has been using the pressure-free method since 2010, and it's changed our lives in so many ways. And this photo to me just is a living testimony to this real smiles and the relaxation and the fun that we were having that day. So have you ever felt like no one sees you? No one really gets who you are? Have you ever felt ashamed at how impatient you are with others? Have you ever wished that you had more time in your day to get everything done? Have you ever said to yourself, if only I could get a good night's sleep, then I would be more productive? This is for you. If you're open to trying a new approach, if you're looking for a fast, effective way to reduce stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. If you want to work smarter, not harder, do you hear that expression? Just work smarter, not harder, but you have no idea how to do it. And this is for you if you're ready to discover your real self. Also, if you're tired of behaving in ways that sabotage your true goals and dreams. This is my dear friend, Heather Chesby. In fact, she took the pictures of me in that raspberry colored blouse. Heather is a professional business coach and photographer. And this is what she had to say about working with me. After 2 months of not booking any high ticket clients in my business and dealing with the stress, fear, and uncertainty, I had an opportunity to learn the pressure-free method from Elle. I immediately put them into practice and saw a drastic change in my being and my reactions to stressful situations. Then 2 days after her coaching, I booked a $5,000 client out of the blue. I'm incredibly thankful for Elle's method, and I'm blown away by her passion to help people stop being victims of stress and start achieving lives full of joy. Thank you, Elle, from the bottom of my heart for your wisdom, guidance, support, and your pressure-free method. So tonight, what I want you to do is first unpinch yourself. So notice that we pinch ourselves on a lot of pulse points. So we have watches. This gentleman reading the paper has a watch pinched around his thing here. Some of your watches, by the way, may be causing you anxiety. If you are keeping track of your sleep and have not a good night's sleep, that can actually cause you to trigger the stress response, which is going to make it difficult to go to sleep the next night. So some people's watches are actually stressing them out. But if it's on your wrist, I'd like you to just relax it, unbuckle it a little bit or whatever, however it works on your wrist, and unpinch yourself there. If you're wearing a bra, I want you to unhook it. If you're wearing a tie, I want you to loosen it. If you have a belt on or a tight waistband, I want you to just get more relaxed there. And if you're wearing shoes really pinch our toes. They really pinch our feet. So take off your shoes. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be comfortable because I want you to be all in here. So also, like, if I don't even have my phone in here, turn your phone off. Get rid of any distractions that could take you out of some of the deepest learning that could just make such a great impact for you. So by unpinching yourself, your nervous system is no longer thinking about all these things that are tight on you. And you're going to be free to think better. So I have a couple of myths here that I'd like to debunk to get started. You might be thinking, this is just the way I am. I have so many clients who say to me, I'm just a type A high achiever. This is just the way I am. Most of my clients are high achievers. They want things done yesterday. They like to get things across the finish line. They like to control things. So it's very disconcerting to not be able to control our emotions. So that's why you'll say, this is just the way I am. I'm here to claim tonight that that's not true for you. You've probably been living under the influence of stress hormones since you were in utero, since you were tiny. And so that's not the real you. That's the you under the influence of stress hormones. So if you're my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, you might remember these PSAs where they had a fry pan with eggs in them and it said, this is your brain on drugs. Well, that's actually your brain on stress hormones too. So when your brain isn't on stress hormones, you get to find the real you. And the real you underneath the stressed you, I'm going to take a guess it's a pretty fabulous person. Myth number 2, you might be thinking it's genetic. My dad struggled getting promoted or had depression, or my mom was really impatient or anxious. That you've inherited, it's like genetic, that you have anxiety or depression or some other things going on with you mentally. I'm here to claim that yes, there are some markers, but you can radically change what's happening in your mental health and your physical health when you're no longer triggering the fight or flight stress response, which is what I'm going to show you tonight how to do. With number 3, you might be thinking, I'm going to have to slow down or take time off to get rid of my stress and anxiety. It's great to take a day off. It's great to slow down now and then, but that actually isn't going to get rid of your stress and anxiety. In fact, sometimes people take vacations and then they need a vacation from the vacation. First of all, you're not alone. 80% of workers feel stress on the job. Nearly 50% say they need help in learning how to manage stress. And I love this next statistic. 42% point the finger and say that their coworkers need such help. Stress is the reason. So stress is the reason you don't really feel seen. Because when all of those coworkers, including your boss or the people you work for, are under the influence of stress hormones, they can't see very well, nor can they hear very well. So that may be why you feel undervalued and why you feel like you're not heard or understood. So stress is the reason, stress in other people, and also stress in yourself. It's also why you feel impatient. You're under the influence of powerful hormones throughout your day. And you overreact because your brain isn't fully functioning. Your logical, controlled brain is not thinking very well. You're in your scared brain. Some people call it the monkey brain, the croc brain. You're in your fear-based, actually it's a protection brain to protect you from a true attack. So in that state, anything can feel like a threat to you. So I love this story. I was reading an account of a woman, young woman whose boss's boss had made an appointment for her to come into his office. And all the way walking down the hall and the night before, all she could think of is, I'm going to get fired. Like, why does he want to see me? Well, when she walked in there and he had a very terse look on his face, which was his usual demeanor, he turned to her and said that they wanted to promote her. So she had completely misread the situation. And so her boss's boss kind of felt like a threat to her, but wasn't a threat at all. So when we're under the influence of stress hormones, the smallest things can feel like threats, or we'll misread and be miscued in situations and with people. So most of us, pretty much everyone you work with, everybody you live with, everybody at school, if you're at school, most of us live on stressed out islands. Most of us have triggered the stress response several times just getting ready to go to work in the morning. In this picture here, I see a lot of people on their phones. Nobody's really interacting with each other, so there's not much smiling going on. I don't see any smiles. Well, maybe this woman on the right is smiling a little bit, but that's because she's window shopping or something. So it's like really, you walk around and you won't see very many people smiling. You walk around, everybody's on their phone, they've got tight faces, and their shoulders are hunched. Everybody here around us is on stressed out island. So today, for this moment with me, we're going to make a visit to the island of hope and possibility. I grew up in the summers on this very bay, and it's Meredith, New Hampshire on Lake Winnipesaukee, and this is the Miss Meredith boat. So just above the hand of the people in the back there, that's where our summer place was that my parents owned. My sister lives there still. So this is a beautiful picture to me, and we're going to hop on this boat today. And we're going to take a little journey over to the island of hope and possibility. When you step out onto the dock there and you see people, they're all going to give you a little wave, and they're going to have a tiny bit of a smile on their face. They believe. They have a little bit of hope. They believe in possibility. So we're going to take a little time to be on the island of hope and possibility tonight or today, whenever you're watching this, if you're watching the replay. I want to share right up front here the pressure-free method with you. It's 3 simple steps. I use a lot of simple steps in my coaching. And to start out with the method, it's targets, triggers, tools. Targets. What are you aiming for? What would you like to see shift? Do you want to earn more money? Do you want a promotion? Do you want your relationships to be better? Or maybe you have something going on with your health, mental or physical, that's chronic. It's been going on for a while, and you would really like to see that shift or change, or at least the symptoms be a little less. So what are some targets for you? They tend to fall into those three categories: money, love, and health. Then triggers. Triggers are what is causing you to trigger the fight or flight stress response. Finally, tools. We're going to dive into tools too, and I'll give you some tools right up front here, or deeper into our experience tonight. Tools and the 10-second solution is step 3 here. So I'm going to do this little thing that I call the ABCs of pressure free. It's really the ABCs of the fight or flight stress response. If you're familiar with that stress response, that is your body's natural mechanism to muster the energy to fight or run away. But it has all kinds of side effects. Why do we trigger it? It's these emotions right here, because there are no more saber-toothed tigers. It's anything that causes us to feel angry or annoyed, anxious or afraid, ashamed or argumentative. Anytime you start an argument, you've probably triggered fight or flight. Once we trigger fight or flight, we behave in ways that usually aren't very productive. You might be the B word, very short-tempered, snippy, snappy. It's like, come on, hurry up. You've got kind of that face on you. You might get bossy. You might even bully someone and not even be aware of it. Some people binge. So you might binge wine, weed, alcohol, cigarettes, Netflix, chocolate, anything to get you to feel good, right? What do you binge when you want to feel good? Some people blame. We finger point. So we're finger pointing and we're blaming, or we're pointing it back at us and shaming ourselves. Sometimes people will say to me, Al, you know what? I just feel like my brain is broken. It's so sad to hear, but I thoroughly understand it, because when you've been triggering the stress response a lot, it does feel like your brain is broken, like you can't get back on track. And of course, burnout, just flat out burnout, total overwhelm. So in Pressure Free, we're aiming for these emotions. And these are emotions my clients have shared with me that the method has helped them step into. They feel calmer, more confident, more courageous. They feel committed to their families, to their work, and they feel congruent. The inside and the outside is matching. You're not trying to fake it to make it. It's like it's really, truly connected. And you don't have to put on a mask or pretend that you're someone that you're not. There's no more imposter syndrome. The D's help you get there. So you made a decision to watch this. If you're here watching this training that I'm giving you, you're taking the first step to having a pressure-free life. So you made a decision to spend some time here. Then you make a decision to learn more. It takes some determination to master this method. I've been working on it since 2010, and I'm still learning. I'm still finding triggers that I didn't realize affected me. And of course, the unexpected happens, like the garage door not working, or a big snowstorm and you can't get somewhere that you need to go. Then Pressure Free becomes a daily discipline. I love it. I have a C-suite executive who recently said to me, thank you so much for this lifestyle. It's a pressure-free lifestyle. And then the last D word is deserving. I want you to really feel like you deserve to have a beautiful life. You and your family, your coworkers, your entire community deserves to have a beautiful life. So what does that mean for you? Sometimes we have to dig deep to allow ourselves to even feel that. These are more words my clients say that they feel. They feel energized, exhilarated, empowered, enlightened. One person recently said, I feel so extraordinary. And then another person said they just have so much more enthusiasm for life. So we're after these E words. All right, fight or flight. So I'm sure you've heard of fight or flight. You might have also heard of freeze. There's a couple more F's we need to talk about here. When you trigger the stress response, Again, you may get aggressive and fight. You may run away. You may freeze, but you also may lie. You'll make up little lies because you're looking for attention because you feel vulnerable. Or you're trying to mask what you haven't gotten finished or accomplished that someone has expectations about for you. So for example, if your boss says, hey, do you have that work done yet? And you're not even started, but you know you'll get it done by the deadline, you might say, oh yeah, it's almost done, because you don't want them to really know how behind you are. So little fibs. And then fawning. Some people will over flatter to try and belong to the group. And I learned that one from a friend of mine who's a child trauma expert. And you'll often see it with children or people who have had childhood trauma. They're so afraid that they're not going to belong to a group that they'll just overdo it. They'll over flatter or fawn. And last is fidget. I wish I had a pen in here, but get a pen clicker, click, 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 click. So leg jiggling, biting nails, picking cuticles, any of the fidgety things is usually a sign that you've triggered fight or flight. So the G's are what I really help my clients step into in order to make progress. Because again, most of my clients are high achievers, and I'm guessing you probably are too. And so you have a lot of high expectations for yourself, and you're used to working hard and trying hard. But in order for the pressure-free method to really work, I need you to get more gentle with yourself. Yes, we're going to be goal-oriented, because to me, that's really, really important. We're aiming for these targets. But I'm going to be encouraging to be more giving to yourself and to others, more gentle, more generous, and to give yourself some grace. Because here's what happened to me when I created this method and started using it on myself. I'm like, oh crap, I've been really messing up for years. No wonder I was acting the way I was acting. And I beat myself up over it. So I want you to give yourself a lot of grace, because even just in this training, your eyes are going to be open. You're going to see things and you're like, oh, wow, have I always acted like that? Chances are you probably have. So please give yourself some grace. Be gentle with yourself. All right, the H's are interesting. I learned some of these H's from my dear friend. She's my personal body coach, Leela Veronica. And you can actually access a free training from her at bodywithleela.com. So check that out. But this is going to help you boost your presence. When you boost your presence, you're going to be seen more, and you're going to be heard more, and you're going to feel that you're valued more, not just at work, but also in your home life and in your personal life, in social situations. So the first step is to take your heart space here, like your shoulders down into your ribs, and just expand really wide. It's like you're giving your heart a lot of room and your lungs a lot of room. And the moment you do that, you create more connection with the people. In fact, take it lower and relax your ab muscles. That will help too. So you're connecting. Then your hamstrings. If you're sitting, I want you to grab your butt, pull your glutes up toward your spine, and sit down on your leg bones, your hamstrings. So your butt is supposed to rise up and protect your lower back. We're not supposed to sit on it. When you can start doing that, you're going to have a whole different presence whenever you're sitting. And if you're standing, do it when you're standing too. And you'll see that you have a different presence. You're more action-oriented when you're like that. And last is your head. We're on our phones a lot. We're on our computers. Get your head up and occasionally look out to the horizon. Give yourself a bigger, broader perspective. We've created very tight, small workspaces. And it's really great to take a look and look out and just gain some perspective now and then. Get your head up. Get your head up too when you're walking, because a lot of people dip their head down when they walk. Another thing that's going to help you be more valued, feel that you're more valued, is to boost your own know, like, trust factor. So one of the things we need to do is to let go of our body armor. Now, this can be a little vulnerable for you if you've never worked on any of these tools before. So I want you to play with me here. I want you to relax your ab muscles. Put a hand right on your belly. If you've loosened your belt or your waistband, that's a good thing. You might have to undo a button. Just really let your belly all hang out. I'm from the 70s. Okay, it was like, let it all hang out was an expression you heard quite a bit. So when you relax your belly muscles, you actually signal to your brain that you are okay. You're not just okay, you're actually fantastic. So when you relax your ab muscles, you signal your brain, but you also soften the whole front of your body, including your throat. So now your voice is going to be a voice that people will like better. And that is huge. Our voice, when we tighten our abs and when we're in fight or flight, gets very pinched. You'll see people with a lot of cords in their neck, like, I did it like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, not like this. Do you see how this is all just kind of relaxed? That's what you want, to have a really beautiful voice so that when you speak, people feel your connection. And now your heart is open, your belly's relaxed, you don't have any body armor. And then your facial features. Watch how you hold your face. It's fascinating. We often hold our faces very tight. If you have furrows in your brow here, you're constantly going dark. I want you to go wide with your face, just like we went wide with the ribs. Go wide with your face. And really relax all this and smile more so you get a really friendly, connecting face. So with your face, your heart space, and your abs all relaxed and open, you'll be much more engaging with people at work, at home. And you'll actually realize that you're starting to value yourself more. And that will boost your value anywhere you go. It's got to start with you. If you don't feel valued, that's about self-worth. And pressure-free helps cut through all the crap so you can start to step into your true self-worth. Step 2. You should say step 2, by the way. Sorry. Oh no, step 1, targets. Ta-da! I'm on the top of a dune at Lake Michigan. Your why. Why is this important to you? So I talked about some performance ways that you might have targets. Again, it's money or achievement, love, relationships, and health, mental and physical health. Your why, the deeper it is, it fuels you using these 2 next steps. So take some time to write down your targets in the next 24 hours. And here's the deeper why. Take a look. I'm not going to go through them all. I just want you to take a look at this intense slide. And these are just some of the side effects of the 2 floods of hormones. The second flood of hormones is so important if you have anxiety, because your brain will feel anxious for no reason when you've triggered fight or flight, and the second flood of hormones goes out. They're also the ones that wake you up at night. So if you're waking up at 2, 3 in the morning, this is why. Something's going on later in the day that's causing you to go into the stress cycle. So at Pressure Free, we help you break the stress cycle so none of these hormones go out and you don't experience all of these side effects. It's truly miraculous when you can start to get a handle on the stress cycle, because basically all chronic disease, mental and physical, is either directly caused by these hormones or made worse by them. Step 2 triggers your what? What makes you feel angry, anxious, annoyed, ashamed? What makes you argue? So, it could be any of these things. I encourage my clients to take a look at, when do you tend to overreact? Is it first thing in the morning? Or is it when you get home from work and you're kind of cranky? Or is it later in the evening? You want to do more, but you're too tired and you've got to go to bed? What or who makes you overreact? It could be people. It could be the very people who love you the most, who trigger you the most, by the way. What makes you feel annoyed or angry? What do you worry about? What keeps you up at night? Who or what makes you feel anxious? And of course, what are you ashamed of? Step 3 tools, your how-to, the 10-second solution. So from a resting heart rate, it's going to take your amygdala in here, like all these little things going on in your brain, and your heart rate and your adrenal glands up to 10 seconds before finally that big flood of hormones releases into your bloodstream and you're now under the influence. They're called catecholamines, so I call it a cocktail, adrenaline being one of the big ones. So when that first flood of hormones goes out, now you're not thinking straight. Now you're moving into those weird behaviors. That's when you'll say things and do things you later regret. So what can you do in that 10-second window to prevent the hormones from going out at all? I teach over 40 tools in my intro course: body tools, mind tools, life design tools, different kinds of tools, because you're unique. And I need to find the tools that work uniquely for you in your situations. Every person I have coached is so uniquely different. You have different upbringings, different genetics. You have different influences in your adult lives and different circumstances. So I've created a lot of different tools to be able to help you. Here are some of my tools to help you feel more valued. Again, relax your abs. Move into that beautiful posture. And then another one is empowering questions. Empowering questions are questions that start with a how can I or what can I? A lot of times these are the questions we ask. Why am I so stupid? Why can't I get that promotion? Why did he get it and not me? Like, we will ask these questions that give us very negative answers and we spiral negatively. I want to encourage you to move any of those why questions into how can I? How can I gain a promotion? How can I solve this? How can I clear up this health issue? How can I be healthy? How can I be more loving? Any kind of question that's moving you toward the targets that you've identified. And then lastly, the more you step out of that stress cycle, the more you're going to value yourself. The more you're going to find the true you, not the stressed out you. And that is powerful. Here are some tools to have you be more patient. Again, relax your abs. That tells your brain you're okay. Secondly, check in with your target. If you have a relationship target, you want to have a more beautiful relationship with someone at work, at home, wherever, then check into that and ask yourself, how do I need to behave in order to have a more beautiful relationship? There's going to be an element of being more patient in that answer. But when you ask the empowering question, just let it stir within you. Don't try to answer it right away. Let it work on you for a little bit. Let the answers come organically. Another tool that I have for my clients is called the slogan. Slogans are any kind of words or phrases you can pop right in there to interrupt the stress response. So one of my clients was basically saying about every few minutes, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I'm too busy. And I stopped my client and I looked at them and I said, in any given moment, you have all the time in the world. So that became a slogan for them. I have all the time in the world. I have all the time in the world. So I encourage you to play with that if you have a time issue. That's going to help you be more patient. Time and patience are very connected. Another thing I've noticed with some of my clients is they're very clock fixated. So are you looking at your clock a lot on your computer, on your phone, in your car? When I was a little girl, there were no clocks in cars. You got in the car and you drove to where you were going and you sort of knew how long it was going to take. And if you didn't, that was okay. Today, we've got clocks in cars and it's actually like pinging the seconds, okay? It's pretty crazy. So see if you can let go of your fixation on clocks. That might help you be more patient, stop being in such a hurry. Most of my clients who embrace pressure-free and master it, they never use the word busy ever again to describe themselves. I don't, and I do far more than I used to do. So try covering your clocks. Oh, habit stacking too. So a habit stack is when you have something you usually do and you add something on it that you want to build into your life. So for example, if you look at the clock, well, you could relax your abs. And that's going to start training your abs to be more relaxed, especially if you watch clocks a lot. And it's also might point out to you just how often you are looking at the clocks. Tools for more energy. I love working with my clients on the beginnings of their day and the ends of their day, because we have these routines that we do. Some people wake up to a Power Ranger alarm, ring, 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 like really loud, right? So how are you waking up in the morning? Is it a gentle wake up? Or is it get out of bed or hit the snooze button? Like, what's going on there? And at the end of your day, how's that working for you? So the bookends of your day, first thing in the morning and just before you go to sleep, are really quite magical times. In that, I call them the twilight zones, like right when you're first waking up and just drifting off to sleep. It's one of the only times your brain waves, our theta waves, connecting subconscious to conscious. So what you do when you first wake up and just before you go to sleep, it matters. The thoughts that you have in your head matter, which is why for millennia, almost every culture all around the globe, they prayed when they're just waking up and just before they went to sleep. They prayed. They went into gratitude. They went into gratitude and confidence for the next day. So play with those bookends a little bit. See if you can create routines that are very beautiful for you. And then another tool, it's going to sound strange, but I call it the spirit of contribution. I created this tool out of work by Wallace Wattles, who wrote The Science of Being Rich and the Science of Success back in the early parts of the 1900s, early decades there. Spirit of contribution. So are your thoughts contributing toward your targets? Or are you in a competitive mode? If you're in imposter syndrome or comparing yourself a lot, you're in competitive mode. And a competitive mode is going to zap your energy. So how can you move a competitive thought into a contributing thought? And there's even a deeper thought I'd like you to switch up, and that's a very corrupting thought, or some people say contaminating, but that's a scary word to me, so I use corrupting. That's really taking you out of your target. It's anti what you're actually aiming for. And I bet you have a lot of thoughts that are not your friends. I learned that from a wonderful little book called Psychopictography. Some of our thoughts are not our friends. In fact, the majority of them for some people. So how can you start to turn your thoughts into more contributing thoughts to your situations? And then I have a little pressure-free food for feel formula that will help you get more energy out of the food that you do eat. First of all, if you don't trigger the stress response, your digestive system is going to work so much better, because every time you trigger fight or flight, we shut down our digestive system. We turn more food to fat because we're not actually metabolizing it correctly. And the second flood of hormones expands the fat cells. So if you've heard of stress fat before, it is a real thing. And you get to start to release that when you step into pressure free. So to get more fuel out of your food, the first thing I learned from a wonderful doctor is to start breathing more. So take a breath, and that's going to get your saliva ducts going. So breathe your food first, get the saliva going, then chew a long time. I'm sure you've heard that before you swallow. And then between each bite, take another breath. Then if you think about if we were building a campfire, because we are combustion engines, we're burning fuel, right? We're not going to pour a whole bunch of water over the fuel. We need the oxygen in, so that's why you need to breathe more. And we need to take water and put it either 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after when we're actually eating, so we can get the most value out of the nutrients of our food. So play along with that a little bit. I think you might have some fun with it. And if you'd like, well, in my course, I actually give the food for formula all in a PDF for people too. So we've been on this island of hope and possibility, and I hope tonight, I sincerely hope that you got a little ping that yes, it is possible to change some of the behaviors, some of the emotions that you're feeling, and some of the ways of being that are just not supporting you. That's what I wanted to accomplish tonight, is that you got this little bit of hope that there could be a different way, a better way. So what if you could start living every day on pressure-free island? Pressure-free island's a bigger island. What would change for you if you were living pressure-free? Would you show up more empowered, more seen, heard, and valued each day? Would you be more patient, feel happier, improve your relationships? Would you feel more in control of your time? And would you sleep better and have more energy? And what would this make an impact on your bank account? Have you ever considered what your stress is costing you in terms of time, energy, and money? So now what's next for you? You can take what I've taught you tonight, what you've learned, and try to apply it through your day. You've got the 3 steps, or you can fast track your results with me. It can be overwhelming to think of all the years you've had these habits, these reactions. And here's why. Here's a little secret most people don't know. It takes males up to 9 hours to clear the stress hormones out of their cells from just one release. It takes females up to 24 hours. That's why most of us have been living on Stressed Out Island. So are you thinking that you might need some help with this? That you might need to uncover some blind spots? Would it be okay if I took a few minutes to share what it looks like to fast track your results? First of all, this is not for you if you're looking for a quick fix. Pressure-free is a long-term fix, although it could be very fast-acting for you. This is also not for you if you're not open and willing to try new ideas. You have to have beginner's mind in order for these concepts to really work for you. And this is also not for you if you're not ready to make a true investment in your health and well-being. This is for you if you're ready for a change that can pay dividends for the rest of your life. If you're open, willing, and committed to take action, and if you understand the importance of personally investing in yourself. So I want you to come take a ride with me to Pressure-Free Island. I can't help it but smile because this is the Miss Winnipesaukee boat. It's a bigger boat than the Miss Meredith boat on the same lake though. And I was actually in the Miss Winnipesaukee beauty pageant. So it's really pretty funny for me to see this boat and see it's just flying across Lake Winnipesaukee. So this boat is working with me in my group program, coming on board so that you're with people who are truly waving and truly smiling and committed to creating a better lifestyle for themselves, for their families, and for their entire communities. So Pressure-Free Living with Elle, this is my program that I'd like to share with you. This shows you how to reduce stress, anger, and anxiety fast with proven tools. It's based on science, so it works for you. It includes me helping you step out of the fear, break through the barriers, and overcome the overwhelming challenges that have prevented you from achieving success in the past. It includes me helping you do all of that. And this is a repeat slide. And this is how this works. I've put together 12 monthly group virtual coaching calls, and the value of those calls is $6,000. Once per quarter, I have a private coaching session with you. That's going to be really impactful because we get to customize how these coaching sessions can work best for you and how these tools can work best for you. And that's a $4,000 value. You're going to have access to my entire library of courses in the Pressure-Free membership site, and that's an $1,800 value. You'll also have access to the Pressure-Free planner. This is to help you stay connected in each day with Pressure-Free and with my musings about things that can really help your life be amazing. That's a value of $500. You'll also have access to the Teen Pressure-Free Facebook group and a special bonus that I've just dropped into this program, 2 free spots to attend a Pressure-Free 3-day retreat, the value of which is $2,600. And I host these retreats in different spots around the country each year. So this is your investment. You receive the monthly group coaching virtual calls with me, once per quarter private coaching sessions, access to my entire library of courses, access to the planner, access to the Facebook group, and 2 free spots for the Pressure-Free 3-day retreat. It's a total value of $14,900, almost $15,000. But your investment today, if you come in and work with me now, is only $5,500 for the year, or 12 payments of $4.97 per month. Your time is now. I want you to keep your momentum going and for you to get started today because you are so worth it. So here's the link. It's on this page for you. And if you're just seeing this webinar somehow randomly, I actually put the link so you can go right in and dive into this program and really decide that this is for you, that this is your chance. I'm going to go off my sharing now to finish up. So I can offer a program like this because I myself have been in programs like this, not the pressure-free one, but I've been in a lot of business masterminds and group programs over my time of building my own business here. And here's what I know. When you make an investment in something like this, it truly does pay dividends for the rest of your life. Not only that, it puts you into a like-minded community of people who are trying to make the world a better place. And when you connect with people like that, they could end up being your best friends. And as this community grows, the pressure-free community is worldwide already, but we're growing it exponentially right now. And you get to be on the cutting edge of that. So I really hope you'll join me in this group program. We're going to be starting these monthly calls together. It's going to be so amazing. And you can share this with others so they can step in too. So do you know of someone that could benefit from learning the pressure-free method? Let's get them on board too. So the more of us we have on board together, the more we can start to truly transform this world. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you'll join me in this group program. And remember me. I actually wore this shirt so they can remember how to spell my name, L. Ingalls, and I'm the creator of the pressure-free method. Have a great time. Bye.